Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me on the Slice of Construction podcast. I am your host, Jared Taylor. Today, the Chief Strategy Officer of Contruent, Andy Verone, is joining me here today. Andy, great to have you.
Jared, appreciate your time and thanks for having me today. Looking forward to it.
Excited to chat. Let's dig right in. So, when we look at you have over not to date you or anything, right? But you have over 40 years in this space. um, what still motivates you today in this space? And then, was there any pivotal moments along the way that really influence your approach to innovation in the construction industry? So kind of a two-parter there.
Yeah, great question. And what a wonderful place to start. Jared, for me, it's always been about the projects. As I think through my earliest memory as a child, it was listening to my dad and my grandfather talk about iconic projects that they worked on here in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania region, right? And the magnitude of those projects and the complexities of those projects and hearing their challenges. And now 40 years later, really bringing the AEC industry and technology together. It's really what I've done my entire career. Even back in the days of industry, I spent 25 years in industry. I spent about 15 now in the technology side. It's bringing those technologies together, making it better for everyone in construction. Yeah, that's what gets me going. I mean, I think it's also the impact the projects have, the physical projects. What are we building? Roads, bridges, highways, dams, data centers. I had the opportunity in 2005 to work on a major government project after Katrina and Rita devastated the Gulf. And it really, really impacted me. People lost their lives. We had the opportunity to go make the flood plain mapping. So we knew where people were in the flood zone. We were actually had the opportunity to make it better for people. And that was a pivotal moment for me to really focus my time in technology.
And what led you to becoming the chief strategy officer at Contruent? Like, what was it that initially led you here?
Yeah, so 25 years in industry, love that. I spent about 15 years at Oracle, helping Oracle's construction and engineering business grow globally. Had the opportunity to do the innovation labs, the Oracle Innovation Labs, which there's three, one in Chicago, one in the UK, and one in Sydney, Australia. To me, it was coming to Contruent to basically take that 40 years of experience into a company that's been around for 26 years, but we technically are a startup, right? What we're doing at Contruent now is we're 100 people strong. It's a small company, very agile, but taking that experience and helping not only our customers, but all of our employees, making it better for them. And by the way, we have an amazing growth strategy that I'm really excited and proud of.
Let's talk a little bit about in this role today. How do you approach integrating new technologies into the traditional construction process?
Yeah, Jared, for us, we're very focused. I mean, I think that's what really attracted me to Contruent. We're not trying to be a platform. We're not trying to be all things to all people. We do the life cycle of cost, and we do it really well. And what do I mean by that? So at our core, it's about cost management, change management, and providing the executives with the decisions they need, the data they need to make decisions on major capital programs, right, and projects. So for us, we're laser focused, right? We don't go very wide, but we go really deep on cost schedule integration. If I think back to it, and you were telling me earlier about some of the studying you're doing, for me, it's all about cost, scope, and schedule. And by the way, if you do those things right, you pretty much have a quality project. So what we do is we take the schedule and we take the cost and we integrate those together to give our customers the best insight on major capital programs.
And I guess what are some of the most exciting? This doesn't just have to be related to Contrarent, although I do want to hear from this side as well. But what are some of the most exciting technological advancements in this space, in this project management space that you've seen over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think for me, it's all about capturing progress, right? So if I look back, over the past 5 years, the ability to capture progress in the field daily, real time, actually. I mean, we can even go further than daily. Having that ability to say what was installed, what was built, what concrete was poured, what site materials, what's available to be installed. To me, having that fidelity on a mega project is really game changing for me. To park that for a second, I think the other thing is, for me, is it's about safety. I mean, we have better visibility into safety that we've never had before. So, looking back 3 to 5 years, it really breaks down to field progressing and the ability to have a safer work environment for everyone.
So, like you have an extensive background in um, obviously in this space. Continuing on that point, right, of past like advancements that you've seen, what trends do you see shaping the future of construction moving forward? Let's call it next 5-10 years.
I think it's connected. I mean, if I were just to choose a word, I think we are finally at a point, and I've been doing this a long time, where we're connecting the teams. Right. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in a home office and managing a portfolio of projects. Okay, maybe that portfolio is multi billions of dollars of projects. Or on the other end of it, if you're a bricklayer, if you're someone that's actually in the trades, giving them that connectivity to the work that's being done. And to me, once that connectivity is done, that we have that from the tradesperson all the way through the executive managing the capital. I mean, to me, that's game changing, and we're seeing it every day. We're seeing that connected worker on every site, and that's important, right? It's no longer doing paper time cards and getting cost into the system that is way behind. We're giving more visibility and real time information to the owners of these major capital programs.
And what advice would you have for these construction companies out here to help them better prepare and adapt for what the next wave of the industry looks like?
Yeah, I think for me, it's a great question. For me, you got to know your processes, right? It's all too easy to buy a point solution, something that's out there on the market that's going to go solve one piece of your business process, right? It's hard work, but take the time, map those business process. What outcome are you trying to achieve? Like, what are you trying to make better? What are you trying to make more efficient, right? What are you trying to de-risk? Like, figure that out, go map the business process out, and then at the same time, be willing to modify your business process, right? To leverage the technology. I'm not saying bend it to a point where you're, living inside the software, but have an open mind around, hey, this could be best practice. Great example. Contruent's 26 years old. It was built by cost engineers for cost engineers. So when we go to market, Jared, we have 26 years of experience on how to manage cost. Okay. It's really, really solid. Right. And by the way, most customers look at that and say, yeah, I can live within those processes. I may need to integrate some data. I may need to push some data to our ERP. I may need to push some data to a payroll system or a payment system. But staying with inside of that capability is important. And I've seen it all too often. But over the last 10 years, I think the last time I checked, there's 4,600 companies that identify themselves as construction technology companies. And I think delivery teams, owners have kind of point solution themselves to death. By the way, it's a tough strategy. I had the opportunity to be a CIO for over 15 years. And if you keep adding those point solutions and keep having to build those integrations, it really does make your enterprise architecture, it makes it very hard to keep and maintain those systems.
Staying on this topic of advice, what advice would you give to young professionals that are just starting to break into the construction industry today? What should they be aware of and as they shape their career?
Yeah, I think the thing that's critical for me is there is a tested way of doing things, right? If you think about the way we schedule projects, right? Critical path method scheduling, for an example. Listen, those are proven methods, right? But don't be afraid to challenge the proven method, okay? Because you have the capability and you have tools today that will let you respect the proven method, but you can also make it better, right? And a great example of this, and I see this every day, is the ability to give people in the field, people that are building, and trades folks as well, that give them visibility on the schedule, give them visibility on the budget, give them visibility on the changes that are happening. And guess what? Your projects are going to be more successful. But again, with it's sometimes hard to make these changes. But again, tie it back to business process, understand the business process, understand the outcome, and then now is the time to challenge the status quo.
What would you say? What would you say some of the key challenges are that you face today in leading innovation at Contruent? Like, so, and then also, how do you overcome those challenges? I'm sure uh, there's some that like everyone I talk to, they know there's challenges that you continue working towards that you may never essentially get past, right? Because there's stuff out of your control. But would love to hear those challenges, and then how, for many of them, how do you get past them?
Yeah, it's an easy one for me to answer. It's the data, right? If I look at any size engineering, construction, architectural firm, they are sitting on mountains of data, right, from past projects, right? How do you learn from those? And even inside a single organization, think about how many projects your organization has done. If you're a general contractor, if you're an owner, if you're an AEC firm, you have thousands of past projects. What can you do with that data? How can you learn from that data, right? So break it down. Type, size, and location, right? Type of project, size of the project, location of the project. Look at similar projects in that region and say what went well. And Jared, sometimes we don't talk about the successes in this industry. By the way, thousands of them all the time. We always look at the projects that failed, right? The ones that were past schedule and over budget. But look at those projects and glean information from that data. It's the most important thing. And by the way, most companies are sitting on that data. We're not. We have very strict retention policies, right? So we're keeping that data for many, many years. Everyone has that data. Go look at it. Go study it.
What's next, Andy, in terms of Contruent? What's next? Let's focus on, I guess, this year, the year ahead, um, or second half of this year rather. That really excites you.
Yeah, I think the thing that excites me is Jared. We took a very old product that had incredible intellectual property in it. Right, it was 26 years of cost engineering capabilities, and we've modernized it and we've brought it to SaaS. Right, and our customers are coming with us. So first and foremost, that transition from on-prem to SaaS is exciting. It's finished. We're there, right? If you're going to buy Contruent today, you're going to buy our Contruent Enterprise, which is a SaaS solution. Secondly, our trajectory for growth. We are growing at a 35 plus clip year over year, which was really exciting for us. What does that do? It lets us invest, right? We just did a small acquisition. You may have seen it. We bought a little product called Procureware. Again, at the end of the day, staying focused on the life cycle cost management, Procureware gives us some bid capabilities, bid management, vendor management capabilities. Again, where does that cost start? Usually starts at the estimate, usually starts at the bid and the vendors that are going to supply the project. So for us, it's laser focused on our core. We're probably at the point now where we have the capabilities that we need to continue to grow the business. Um, Interesting enough, I would say expansion in other geos, but we are in most geos. I mean, we have a great operation in the UK, Australia, North America, South America. We've got some projects in the Middle East, some in Canada. So it's really not globally expanding. It's really pushing, the roadmap that we're really excited about. And there's great capabilities in the roadmap that we have today. So it's just all about growth. But I wake up every day and think about how do we grow, this 100-person firm.
I love it. Well, congrats on all the success, and love what Contruent is doing. I hope we can have you on in the near future and kind of give us an update on where things are at with the industry, with the company. But really appreciate you joining us here today, Andy.
Jared, appreciate your time, and I'll come back if you'll have me for sure. But thank you.